Hey, what's going on? This is the Confidence Magnet here with another great video. In today's video, we are going to talk about how to overcome social awkwardness. I got this idea from a commenter by the name of Christian Alexander. I hope this video, it answers your question. So without further ado, let's get it. Don't try to force a conversation. A conversation that's forced is very painful. The best conversations flow. If you don't have chemistry with the person or people, it's like pulling teeth, trying to keep the conversation going. So you want to make each conversation as the least painful as possible. So if you don't have chemistry with these people, you can either develop that chemistry later on, or at this present moment, you can just sit there and listen and observe. And I'm going to go through some of the things that can help you in these types of situations as we progress. Sometimes listening is best. If you find yourself in a situation where you have to speak to someone or a group of people, ask questions. About what? About the person or people trying to talk. Listening to others speak can take the pressure off of you, and the other person may actually appreciate this. So you know how sometimes they'll say that a person's favorite topic is themselves? Use that to your advantage. It works. Use your silence to your advantage. When you're not speaking, you can use this opportunity to study the person. Are they lying? Are they trying hard to impress you or the people around you? Sometimes not speaking allows you to listen to verbal and nonverbal communications, because you got to remember, anytime you speak to a person, there's two things you're doing. You're listening and you're talking. You don't always have to dominate the conversation. Sometimes listening can work to your advantage. And sometimes silence, it makes you more attractive in a way. And I watched a video on this. It's called mindfulattraction.org. I believe that's the name of it, mindfulattraction.org. And the speaker, he actually says that you can use silence to attract people. And he used video analysis to show how this is done. He used a few movies to show how this is done. One good example is the scene from 40-Year-Old Virgin, when he was talking to the girl in the bookstore. When he was talking to Beth at the bookstore. He didn't say much. He just asked a question, and she responded. He didn't go on and on and on. He just asked a question of what she was saying, and it worked. He observed, he did what he needed to do. And it's funny because if you do that in real life, it could work. Don't fake interest, but don't be rude. The worst thing you can do is fake interest in a conversation. But at the same time, you don't want to be rude or not hear the person out. If you fake interest, you will have a person chewing your ear off on the conversation that's not interesting at all to you. So there's a balance between not being rude and showing that you're not interested. One way you can do this is by going, and then you try to politely say you have to do something. But okay, I got to go, I got to do this, that, and the third. I'll talk to you later. People do it all the time. If the person can't get the hint, then it's not your fault, it's their fault. Know when to cut the conversation short. Cutting the conversation short helps you avoid that awkward silence. This helps you and the other person or people feel more at ease. So, as I mentioned before, that you can use silence to your advantage. Sometimes you have that awkward silence, which is totally different. It's way different than using silence, as in you listening to the person speak and you're responding to that person speak. This one is, okay, the both of you aren't saying nothing, and you're just looking into the air and you're looking at each other and you feel that awkward silence. Before it gets to that point, you can cut the conversation short, and you can sometimes feel when it gets to that point. Short conversations can be interesting. The most interesting people are not always in deep conversations with you. Sometimes a little chit chat every now and then is just the right amount. It's just the right dose. So sometimes you might say, hey, how you doing? Oh, where you going? I'm going to this place. Oh, you going to this thing? Yeah, I'm going to this thing. All right, I'll see you later. That's good. You spoke to the person. That was good enough. Right amount of dose. If that person is going somewhere and you try to chew their ear off, then they're like, yo, I got to go. And you might feel offended because it was your fault that you didn't observe on what they were trying to do. So it doesn't always have to be a long conversation for it to be interesting. Storytelling is a pastime everyone can enjoy. People love a good story. If you can tell a story about yourself or be willing to hear a story about someone or something that happened to someone, you bring life to the conversation. Talk about a show or a movie you like. Shows and movies can be very emotional conversation. People tune into their favorite shows on a regular basis. This alone can be a 15-minute topic or even longer than that. You can even talk about sports. Sports is also America's pastime or the world's pastime. And when you speak about something that interests a general audience, this gives you a better chance at having a longer conversation if that's what you're aiming for. You can't win everybody over. Some people may count the seconds it takes for you to leave. You may count the seconds before it takes someone else to leave. You don't have to wow everyone. Sometimes trying too hard makes things worse. I'm pretty sure you had those people that they try to be all cool and they came off as real corny or cheesy. And you counting the seconds on when they're going to leave. You're going to play, when is this person going to leave? I got to go, or I don't want this person to be here. When are they going to leave? Don't be that person that you try to win somebody over and you make things worse. Try to gauge the person up. Like, okay, this person doesn't look like they're too interested in the conversation. Let me just see my way out. And that goes into knowing when to cut the conversation short. Let the conversation flow. Let go of trying to impress people. Let go of trying to have all the right words. When you let the conversation flow, you may end up talking to people way longer than you expected. A good way to do this is like asking questions. You ask a person a question, and then that question leads to you telling a story about yourself or something that happened to you or someone else. Then they go, "Oh, really?" And then you start going back and forth, and then you start to relate to one another. And sometimes, off this one little thing, you can even get a date or go to an event that the person may be having. That was this time on Facebook. I was talking to this female about a movie, and she said, "Oh, I love that." And I said, "Oh, I know how to do that a little bit." It was dancing. It was Spanish dancing. I have friends that I grew up with. They knew how to dance some of the Spanish dance, like salsa, merengue, and all that. And I learned a little bit. I'm not that good, but I learned a little bit. And me talking about it, it allowed me to show her how a few moves, the best way I knew how, for the music that wasn't appropriate for the type of dance it was. And she actually appreciated that. And she told her friend that she actually liked me because she had such a good time. So we let the conversation flow. It worked. Even though it was on social media, it worked. And it can work for you too. Just let the conversation flow. And sometimes you go in a direction where you don't expect to go. And sometimes it works in your favor. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter. You can join the mailing list where you get the free ebook, The Confidence Skyscraper, where you get that solid foundation of real confidence. Links are in the description box. Don't forget to rate, comment, and share this video for anyone who you feel has social awkwardness or they don't know how to handle themselves in a socially awkward situation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next video. And shout outs to Christian Alexander for giving me the idea for this video. Peace.